There we go.
You guys are lively tonight.
Yeah. It's something.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. We have a full house and a lot of exciting things, a lot of celebrations tonight that we're excited about. So at this time, I'd like to call the April 14th, 2026 meeting of the Springdale School Board to order. And I would like to start with our student representative, Adriana Monroy. If you'd come to the podium and lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me and letting me be here today.
So your resume is impressive. If you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, where you're headed, how you got here, all that good stuff.
I am a senior at HAR-BER High School, and I have been here throughout basically my whole elementary, middle school, everywhere. I've been here in Springdale. I went to Jones Elementary. I also went to Helen Tyson, Southwest, and now I'm at HAR-BER.
Favorite classes and plans for?
My favorite class, I have a few favorite classes. One of my favorite classes is my Intro to Education. It's basically a pre-educator pathway class. My teacher, Miss Dorsey, she is amazing. I have loved being in that class, getting to have field experience with the people the kids at Young. It has been an amazing experience. And also one of my other favorite classes is my choir class. I have enjoyed progressing as a singer, and I just have really been inspired by all my educators throughout my whole education.
What have been some of your biggest aha moments in the classroom at Young? Like what's something that you can tell in front of the public?
I think that...
Anything surprise you or?
Yes, I think that, like, for example, I had first graders, and then I went from third grade, and then I got moved to first grade. That first graders are very affectionate. Yep.
Tell us about your Cancer Awareness Club and your affiliation with that.
Yeah, okay, so at HAR-BER, we have a Cancer Awareness Club, and basically that's just to promote helping out, like, people who have had cancer in the past, and we basically fundraise and give that money back to patients who have had cancer.
Plans after graduation?
Yeah, so it's some nursing stuff too, it looks like.
Yeah, so basically my whole life, I think from kindergarten to 5th grade, I knew I wanted to be some type of educator. I really wanted to become a teacher, but then I guess my whole career here at HAR-BER, I realized that I love helping out people, but maybe I could do that and be a nurse of some sort.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Mom here, anybody, any other family?
Yes, my mom.
Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to senior, right?
Yes.
So we'll see you at graduation.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming. All right. Dr. Cleveland, that brings us to our agenda for tonight. Any changes?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Hutchinson and a second by Mrs. Cook to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I'll pass it off to Dr. Cleveland for our celebrations and reports.
Okay, first off, we'd like to introduce our new assistant principal at HAR-BER Elementary. And I'd like to invite Molly to the podium, if that's okay. Why don't you come formally announce your new AP? I'll not do it for her. We all know her.
So Natalie Gregory, I'm fortunate she's she started her career at HARP and she started as a classroom teacher, moved up to instructional facilitator, and just fortunate to have the opportunity to move her to the role of assistant principal. So Natalie Gregory is my new assistant principal.
I just want to thank the school board. I want to thank Dr. Cleveland and the leadership team. I wanted to thank Ms. Brock. She is a great mentor for me. I wanted to thank the A3 mentors. I went through that last year, and so they have continued to mentor me this year as well. And so I just wanted to thank all of them. So it's a great opportunity. It's a dream come true, and I'm just excited to be here.
We met with her the other day over at Don Tyson, and she was phenomenal. So
Thank you. She's the best part of me, so yes. Yeah.
we were impressed with her.
Yes. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ms. Johnson, got some recognitions tonight.
Good afternoon, Dr. Cleveland, the school board. We are here, and congratulations, Ms. Gregory. That was a perfect shout out, I think, for the A3 program, which we're about to talk about. So that was a fun way to introduce it. But I'm really excited to get to kick off the discussion about the Aspiring Administrator Academy in Springdale. We call it A3. This was our second year, so Ms. Gregory was in year 1. We're in year 2 now. We got our participants here with us. And somehow we made year 2 even better than year 1. It was, we grew it, we developed it. But I will say, as an administrator at Springdale, there's a whole list of things that I love about this role. But at the very top of the list is getting to be a part of A3. Getting to develop and mentor and watch future leaders grow has been a highlight of my admin career, paired with getting to work with admin all across the Springdale district for that common goal of what is an effective leader in Springdale, getting to talk about that, discuss that, and then create a program to share that with others has been a highlight. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let the people, the actual participants and Ms. Marquette talk. But we are going to have a couple speakers, and then we're going to get to the real fun part, which is we're going to get to celebrate each of our participants with a certificate. You'll get to hear their name. So we are excited about that. At this time, I'm going to let Ms. Marquette take over.
Well, I will just echo what Ms. Johnson said. We're so excited to be celebrating our A3 participants. And so this program started last year with the vision that aspiring Springdale administrators will have the capacity to lead with confidence and competence. And so our mission really is to develop aspiring administrators by providing transparent and relevant learning experiences, equipping them with applicable tools, fostering connections, and empowering them to be problem solvers. So we just want to say a special thank you to the board, to Dr. Cleveland for your support of this program, and a special thank you to Dr. Smith too, just for her support and leadership in empowering us to develop this program. The program consists of 8 sessions centered around the assistant principal rubric that we have for our evaluations, and we go through the job responsibilities really just to teach the aspiring administrators what that role looks like. And so those sessions are on different campuses across the district, and it just gives them an opportunity to build connections with building leaders, district leaders that speak at those as well. So it's been really amazing. And to give you a little bit of an update from our first cohort last year we had 30 participants, and 8 of those 30 participants were hired into a building administrator role for this school year or a district level coordinator type role. So we're really excited to celebrate them. And then you'll also see our leadership team. So our leadership team, this was originally started as assistant principals across the district who started this program. But since we last talked last year, 2 of our teammates have moved into principal roles, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Katie Wilson. And so just like what Ms. Johnson said, this has really continued to develop us as leaders too. And so I think that's just evidence of that. We added 2 new people to our leadership team this year, Mr. Jenkins from George Junior High and Mr. Sinnott. And that was based on feedback from our first cohort that we need a little more secondary representation, and a male perspective might be helpful too. So they've been great additions. This year, cohort 2, we've had 23 participants across 16 buildings. And so they've been able to connect to a mentor. Like Ms. Gregory said, that is super helpful because when they move into those administrator roles, they already have that connection and that mentor that they can lean on. Tonight, we're going to recognize each of them, and then we're actually going to leave this room. And their culminating activity is we're going to celebrate, and then they're going to have a mock interview. And so that's what we're going to do this evening with them. So I also want you to be able to hear from 2 participants. So we're going to hear from Jessica Wynn, who's at Rollins Elementary, and James Hendricks. I'll invite you guys to come up. And they're just going to talk briefly about their experience as participants this year.
Hello. In case you can't tell, I'm James. I'm at Kelly Middle School right now. I want to thank you guys for investing in the developing leaders inside of our district to be the future of what we're doing. One of my biggest concerns going into this was that I wouldn't be able to meet enough people because I spend so much time in my building. So this has been a fantastic opportunity to reach out, meet all of our principals in all the buildings and work in all kinds of environments, as well as make connections with their staff whenever I go on their buildings or in their buildings to work for them and with them. The leadership experiences that we had after school also existed. We did so many things that it's hard to keep track of all of them, whether it be participating in reliving your junior high dance experience with Dr. Lofton, or whether it be trying to navigate the Caroling on the Creek with the Rollins Elementary crew. I got to do a lot of things to see how they lead and what their styles were like, and also get to meet them and develop that relationship further. The meetings themselves were pretty engaging, and they had a wealth of information that you can't really gain unless you've been there. And having these experts give us that information has been wonderful. I can't think of how many times my life would have been easier had I known about the complex change matrix before this event. So I just want to again say thank you. It's been refreshing to witness the diverse personalities and leadership styles and have them pass it down to me. I still, I want you to know that our leaders delivered this program with fidelity, and they did a great job for us. So thank you.
A little shorter than him. Hi, I'm Jessica Wynn. I'm at Rollins. I'm an instructional facilitator there, and I was told I have about 1 minute to speak, so that's going to be a little tough because honestly, I just feel really passionate about this program. It's very impactful, and I have a lot to say about it. I had the opportunity to participate this year, and it was one of the most meaningful learning experiences I've had. It gave us real insight into leadership and what the day-to-day actually looks like in Springdale schools. One of the best parts was getting to learn from these administrators that are in our district. They were open, they were honest, they gave us the real facts about the successes and challenges, and I just know how busy they are, and I hope that they know how impactful they have been for all of us and how much we appreciate that. They took the time out of their already full schedules to invest in us, and it means a lot. And also with this program, I now have lifelong resources with my peers that I went through the program with. I will be able to use them and call them. All of these administrators throughout the process would say, like, you have no idea how many times we have called each other and just asked questions and just threw ideas at each other, and I have no doubt that me and my peers will do the same. So we did not just gain knowledge, we gained confidence, and it helped us start to see ourselves as future leaders, hopefully in Springdale, and gave us the tools, and we're using some of those tools in our current roles now. So I just want to say, if anybody is on the fence about applying for this academy, you should do it. It is completely worth it. And I want to thank the district and the board and everyone for giving us this opportunity. And it is truly growing amazing leaders and making a lasting impact. So thank you.
I get to do the best part because I get to call out all their names. All right, participants, when I call your name, please come get your certificate. Come up here, pose with your mentor for a picture, and then have a seat. When we are all done, we will go outside and take a group photo. Okay? All right, first up, we have Brittany Brazel. All right, next up, Bethany Walmsley. Michael Williams. Abigail Farrell. Cassie Ferguson. Rosie Valdez. Alex Fitzgerald. Aaron Waterman. Katie Drake. Julie Finney. Anna Geller. Emma Brust. Michael Marquette. Jonathan Mills. Alicia Leon Morales. Amy Forte. Franklin Jennings. James Hendricks. Amanda Kassemeyer. Jessica Wynn. Amanda Andrusina. And Tiffany Deerenwater. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. While they are exiting, I'd like to invite Mike Fontopoulos to, yes, sir. We're going to recognize the National Merit Scholars.
Okay. Hey. Can I move this along to that one right there? So, let these folks step out. Dr. Cleveland, how are you doing? Mr. Emerson, school board, how are we doing? So we wanted to bring forward our eight national merits finalists. They were semifinalists, if you remember them from last fall. And now our National Merit Scholarship qualifiers have become finalists. So first things first, I want to read their names so that they can be recognized. Claire Bond, Casey Elliott, Wrigley Graham, Adelaide Leppingwell, Willow Linker, Caroline Netzel, August Norman, and Andrew Shellhammer. These kids are the top that we have here at Springdale Public Schools, our top 0.5% of our state, of those test takers from their junior year. And of course, once they then accept a scholarship from the National Merit Scholarship qualifying company, they will then become what we would call a National Merit Scholar. So what I want to do now is present them one at a time up here. Dr. Griep had a really great idea. He said, hey, Mike, let's get the kids together and have them bring up an educator or two that helped influence them, mentored them, was the Paul to their Timothy, if you will. And maybe let's see, what that looks like, and maybe have the teacher come back and brag on the kid, and I think that's an awesome idea. So I thought what we could do is go one at a time here, go down this list, and we get a picture real quick with our superintendent, and then once we get done with everybody, all the students and all the educators will go outside, we'll get a big group photo. But I really want to kind of turn this over to these kids and let them kind of brag on their teachers and what that looks like. So first up would be, in alphabetical order, Claire Bond. As you can see, Claire is from J.B. Hunt, Elstern Central, and Harvard High School. So Claire, who did you want to come and chat with you today about you? Who did you invite?
I invited Coach Waters and Mr. Fink.
Go ahead and have those guys come in. What are you going to say?
Okay. I'm going to start with Coach Waters. I was lucky to have her for 3 class periods in 7th grade, which allowed me to gain a lot from her. As my basketball coach, she instilled the idea of a growth mindset, shaping how I develop habits for success. This led to a more disciplined and resilient version of myself, rather than someone who looked for shortcuts and avoided challenges. In social studies, she taught me to learn for my own benefit, not simply for a grade. I've carried her lessons from the classroom and athletics into many aspects of my life. Coach Waters is still one of my major supports, helping me grow personally by reflecting her faith so well and pushing me to persevere and succeed in all that I do.
Go ahead.
I hope this isn't too long, but I've known Claire for 7 years and was introduced to her before her 6th grade year. So about 2 weeks ago when I heard about this, I kind of had to write out her journey as I've seen it, and I'm better with written expression, so I wrote it out, and if it's okay, I'd like to read it to you. When Claire was in 6th grade, I watched a headband-wearing redheaded girl play basketball and give it all she had. As the Hillstern 7th grade coach, the way she and her teammates played made me excited for the upcoming year. That was during the winter of 1920. The academic schedule for Hillstern Middle School, 2019-2020. That's what I meant. Sorry, I shortened it. The academic schedule for Hillstern Middle School the following year allowed me to spend more than 3 hours every day with my student athletes. We started the day with practice in the morning, followed by advisory and social studies later in the day. In advisory, we would take care of school business and then reflect on our practices, watch game film, and work through book studies. To say relationships were built is an understatement. I expected more out of this group because I saw their potential and believed in them. Growth happens in the most uncomfortable moments. In the fall of 2020, some players were moved up to the junior high team, and Claire assumed a new role, point guard. A point guard has to have a high basketball IQ, set the pace, and know where every player is supposed to be for every play. I never doubted she could do it, but getting her to believe she could was difficult at times. Claire was passionate about her success and had developed the necessary decision-making skills. She became a leader on the court and in the classroom as well. The struggle proved to her that if resilient and determined, with hard work, challenging times can teach you lifelong lessons that can propel you to future success. That season, the team went 10-3 with 5 canceled games due to COVID, and Claire averaged over 12 points a game. I knew her future was bright. During the summer of 2021, our teams went to Missouri Southern Team Camp, and the future junior high point guard was faced with a much bigger challenge. Claire suffered an ACL tear requiring surgery and physical therapy while not being able to play during her 8th grade season. When Claire returned for the 2022-2023 season, the Central Junior High Lady Warriors finished the season undefeated at 23-0. She went on to HAR-BER High School where she played her 10th grade year, but later decided to focus on academics and take on a managerial role for the Lady Wildcats. From day one, she bought into the program's expectations. She was coachable and exemplified what it means to be a Lady Wildcat student athlete by exhibiting the program's 5 givens: an extraordinary attitude, extraordinary effort, extraordinary body language, being an extraordinary teammate, and extraordinary communication. Our team reached the state championship in March, and as a student manager, Claire helped us by prioritizing the well-being and success of her teammates throughout the season. I have no doubt that these standards have benefited the classrooms she has been in and how she has given back to our community. Claire is a selfless individual committed to collaborating with and serving others. Thank you, Claire and Mr. and Mrs. Bond, for understanding that your teachers and coaches saw potential in you, for trusting the process, and for allowing us to push you to be your best. I know you will do big things as you move to the University of Tulsa to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree and likely continue in the Doctor of Nursing practice program. Claire, I'm a much better coach because of you. I'm proud of you, I love you, and I expect only continued success in all that you pursue.
Okay, and for Mr. Fink, having him as a teacher and advisor has impacted both my education and character. His style of teaching engaged us in a way that allowed me to ask questions and strive to understand each topic. He taught me that productive struggle is important, challenging me to work through problems I would have normally only attempted after studying. Mr. Fink encouraged me to become president of our National Honor Society, even though I have always shied away from public speaking. Through this opportunity, I've been able to have a real impact on my peers and take on more responsibility than I believed I could manage. Something that I will carry with me is the way he has displayed the importance of priding myself on being able to serve others instead of only holding on to my personal accomplishments.
Thank you, Claire. That was very sweet. I'm fortunate as AP Calculus teacher. It's kind of a funnel for the brilliant students that we get to have. So I have all 4 from HAR-BER, and they're all wonderful. They're brilliant students. Claire does have a dark mark, though. She's the one of the 4 that voluntarily chose to not go for 2 years of AP Calculus. So we'll forgive her. It's not usually necessary. Cal 2 is kind of a hard sell. But nevertheless, she's been a phenomenal student. Her bubbly personality and kind of lively demeanor just added so much to the class. And in fact, she sat with a pretty lively group of gals last year. And it wasn't for a little while that I realized she was actually understanding a lot more than I would have given her credit for. She's very, very bright, and I was thankful to have her in class. She added so much to the dynamic of the class, and so helped be a leader in that group. And I was thrilled when she decided to pursue officer leadership in the National Honor Society and wanted to be the president. She was the natural choice, and so I've been thankful to have her help me figure this out in only my second year. The NHS has kind of 4 pillars to their organization, which is scholarship, leadership, service, and character. And Claire's just a perfect example of kind of all of 3 of those, or 4 of those kind of embodied. Kind of the pillar or the symbols along with the torch. And so when I think about Claire, I think of someone who's willing to carry the torch and kind of light the way. It's hard to lead. And so I'm proud of her. I know she'll continue to do great things and continue to be a light wherever she goes. So I'm very proud to just get to be a part of her story. So.
Casey Elliott. Casey, as you can tell, I think he's a repeat from Claire, Jamie Hunt, Hellstern Central, and Harvard High School. Casey, who did you ask to come here this evening?
I asked Mr. Hintator and Mr. Fink.
Awesome. Are they coming back out? What do you want to say?
So for Mr. Hintator, I had him for AP US History last year, and even though it was a really tough class, a lot of homework, you could tell every day Mr. Hintator gave his full effort, always had a bright attitude, and he really cares about the student's success. And he also helped me on some of my college applications by giving recommendations. So his effort in the classroom inspires me to give the same effort in what I do in my education. So I wanted to thank him for that.
So when I found out that I was being recognized by Casey, this was it was a wonderful surprise, and partly I think that was because I had Casey in a morning class, so it was a 1B class, and sometimes it can be hard to get a read on how the students are doing when they first come to school and all those sorts of things. He can be pretty quiet for sure, but it was really, really awesome, an incredible class. I think Claire was in that class as well. And Caroline, I had Caroline in class as well, and it was just really, really great to have them. And really, they're all truly exceptional students. And, this is my third year to be at HAR-BER. And so it's just a really great opportunity, and I feel super grateful to have the opportunity to teach the caliber of students that come through HAR-BER High School. And Casey, without exception, is an extraordinary student who managed to really, really just do an incredible job in AP US History. And so it's quite an honor for him to be acknowledging me here, and I am truly, truly grateful to be able to teach these students. So.
And for Mr. Fink, I had him last year for AP Calculus AB and also AP Calculus BC this year. And I wanted to recognize Mr. Fink because his positivity radiates towards the students a lot. Going into his class, it's always a highlight of my day, not something that I have to get through. And he's also written amazing recommendation letters for my college applications, and it's been a tremendous help. And I feel like his positivity really inspires me to approach everything with the same type of energy in my education. So I wanted to thank him for that as well.
Thank you, Casey. He's a phenomenal student, and I'm blessed to get to work with him. If you know John Stewart, we would term him as a silent assassin, right? He's the other HAR-BER National Merit Scholars. If you put them in a room and divided the kind of airtime, it would probably be 25, 25, 24, 1 to Casey. He doesn't need the microphone. And you don't realize he's brilliant till the first test when it's perfect. And so he's just a sponge of kind of mental sponge and is able to just absorb everything. And so academically, he's obviously second to none. And it was easy writing a recommendation letter for him. And if you didn't know, he got into a little school called West Point. And so I've been fortunate to have a few students who have gone to West Point, some of the other armed academies. And I'm just excited for your opportunity. It's going to grow you so much. You're already here, but the ceiling is going to be so high. You're going to be more of a leader than you already are. In class, he's one that you just kind of say, here's the job. And he and his group are kind of their own sovereign nation. They just self-regulate, methodically produce excellent work. And so it's fun to just get to be their teacher. But I've tried to help him transition to West Point, so anytime he does make a mistake, I'll try to make him do some push-ups, publicly humiliate him, and really tear him down so that he's ready for day one. But it's been a blessing to work with you. Great students make great teachers, so thanks for making me look great.
Oh, yeah.
Wrigley is from John Tyson, Elementary, Shaw Elementary, Hellstern Central, and HAR-BER. And Wrigley, tell us who you asked to come here today.
Well, I'd like to first give a shout out to Mr. Fink. The only reason I didn't pick him is because I knew he was getting picked otherwise. The other teachers that I want to shout out are my physics teacher, Miss Johnson, and my just dear friend, Coach Northcutt. I'll start with Miss Johnson, though. I set my schedule for this year with the intent to challenge myself as college was on the horizon. I had already taken AP Physics 1 my junior year, and Ms. Johnson encouraged me to take both AP Physics C Mechanics and AP Physics C Electricity and Magnetism. This means I have singularly spent more instructional time with Ms. Johnson than any other teacher over the course of my academic journey, by choice. She is invested in her students and passionate about our future plans. She encourages independent problem solving while being eager to assist whenever necessary. While this year has been difficult, balancing application season in both content-heavy AP Physics classes, her unwavering commitment to us has made the material not only interesting, but also helped chart my future. I'd like to thank Ms. Johnson for being an excellent classroom instructor and a person whom I will leave Har-BER considering a friend.
I've been incredibly grateful to have Wrigley in AP Physics the past 2 years. It's been an extraordinary experience to witness someone with his commitment to academic excellence, as well as his natural aptitude for leadership, prepare for a future engineering career. He's intentionally applied himself in order to master necessary physics concepts. In doing so, he's been confidently seeking feedback while providing it to others and improving the culture of learning for his class. Not only is he hardworking and insightful, but he guides others to become better students of physics as well. He consistently asks clarifying questions that benefit others and supports those around him by encouraging them to understand the importance of practicing solving problems. Although I do not know much about golf, the past 2 years, I have listened to conversations about course strategy, and I've seen its influence in shaping his exceptional decision-making skills. In class, he's not only been a top performer, but he's been a leader in a community of future engineers, demonstrating qualities I would imagine could be found in future directors of demanding fields. He demonstrates an ability to care and communicate complex ideas with others in order to achieve a shared goal. We will miss Wrigley in AP Physics, but we're excited to see what he does next. Thank you.
I would also like to thank Coach Northcutt. To some of you, Coach Northcutt and I might seem like an unlikely pair, but after my first conversation with her, I realized she is Har-BER High School's secret weapon. A senior can easily float aimlessly during application season, but she served as a beacon of guidance. Her insight never ceased to impress me, and she pulled no punches as she helped me chart my goals. She was always available to keep my analysis paralysis at bay and ensure my writing was authentically me. Don't let her big laugh fool you. Her essay feedback is direct, but she always delivered it in a way that made me want to do better, even when it was uncomfortable to write about myself. Most importantly, at times when I needed one, she was a fierce academic advocate. I'd like to thank Coach Northcutt for illustrating that a person can be many things to many people. Her guidance has been my greatest asset.
I said, while I never had the privilege of teaching Wrigley in a formal classroom at Har-BER, I'm deeply honored and humbled to stand here with him today. I first met Wrigley as we began the college application process together. What started with support with writing quickly grew into an experience that I valued and enjoyed, with countless hours spent refining essays, sharing ideas, and shaping his story. During that time, I came to know a young man who was not only defined by his academic accomplishments, but also by his perseverance and his quiet determination. Wrigley faced each challenge with purpose and resolve. His drive alone makes him worthy of recognition, regardless of the many academic honors he has earned. What has stayed with me most, however, is who he is beyond the work. Consistent, kind, and genuine in every interaction. Whether in a brief conversation in the hallway or stepping outside of his comfort zone to agree to participate in our Dancing with the Stars event, you may not have recognized him without the bald cap, but always willing to show up, support others, and bring joy to those around him. As Wrigley prepares to continue his journey at Southern Methodist University, I have no doubt that he will go on to do remarkable things. I'm truly grateful to have been a small part of his story at Har-BER. Wrigley is the kind of student who just doesn't leave a legacy of achievement, but one of character, courage, and lasting impact.
Adelaide Sage Well, and she is from Shaw Elementary and Don Tyson School of Innovation. Sage, what do you got to say? Who did you ask about?
So, let's see. Everybody else came up here with the absolute best speech I've ever heard, and I'm up here with 2 cents and a dream. So, I'll be honest. When they sent out the application to submit teachers, I had felt that there were too many teachers in my high school career to really pick 2. So I turned in my gifted and talented teacher, but she unfortunately couldn't be here. So this is going to be my thank you to Mrs. Dannenhauer and Mrs. Beck for filling out all those recommendation letters. So I guess I'll start with Miss Beck. So Miss Beck, I walked into her classroom in 10th grade for her advanced chemistry class, and if I'll be honest, I feel like I was a TA there, and not because she's an incredible teacher there. And I understood her content very well. And whew, yay. Miss Beck, she was so engaging with the material and the ideas presented that I immediately knew that chemistry was one of the things that I was deeply passionate about. And when I showed up in that classroom, when I was younger, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, oh, I'll be a marine biologist, I'll be whatever. And I always felt like I had it planned out but not nailed down, you know? And when Miss Beck taught, it felt like something that I was good at and something that could impact the world. So yeah, I'd just like to say thank you.
Well, Sage, I was happy to write all of those letters of recommendation because you certainly deserve every single one of them. Sage is an amazing student. I could count on her to give her all every single day, and she was a joy to teach. I got to teach her this year for AP Chemistry, and we learned a lot together because it was my first year teaching AP, but chemistry is definitely the right fit for you, Sage. You just lit up when you engage with the material, and I just know you're going to go so far. Best of luck.
Yep, and then the other teacher is somebody I would consider more of a friend than a teacher, really. Mrs. Dannenhauer, you and me have been in a class together every year since you've been at the school. And I think that's really cool. And I've learned so much. I've grown so much in your class. It's really been an honor to grow as an artist, as an academic person, student, and as a person under your tutelage. And I know this year in my AP drawing class, it's weird because you're in the advanced drawing class and you're like, oh, this is fun, and then you're in the AP drawing class and you're like, this is a family. And I think that Mrs. Dannenhauer's contributions to every student in that class have been incredibly meaningful and incredibly constructive to that making of the school community for me. So, thank you.
Sorry, super emotional. That was really lovely. Thank you, Sage. Thank you. So, like Sage said, in our classroom, we've always been family in the art room, and find it very important to do that and to have a safe space for students to be able to experience visual art as well as grow as individuals. So, it is absolutely one of my greatest pleasures to see Sage blossom the last few years, particularly since I had them in 8th grade. I think that Sage was in my class on my first day at Springdale Public Schools, and I think that I was probably more nervous than I ever have been, like stepping up to the plate to come to Don Tyson School of Innovation. But I have not at one point been disappointed in being in this profession for students just like Sage. But particularly because she is beyond her years in maturity and innovation, just like our name states. And not only that, she has a considerable amount of distinguishable qualities. And one of the things I'd like to share with you is what I said about her in her recommendation letter. So, what distinguishes Sage most profoundly in the ability to bridge field is her ability to bridge fields that many view as separate. She is equally comfortable in the lab and the studio, exploring intersections between science and art with remarkable originality. Their intended pursuit of dye chemistry is a natural extension of this interdisciplinary vision, where they can combine a scientific rigor with an artistic intuition. In classroom discussions, Sage is a creative collaborator. Sage exhibits not only intellectual strength, but also a deep emotional intelligence. They listen, respond, and engage with empathy, elevating the quality of dialogue and group work for everyone around them. There's no other person that I would recommend so highly as this. So, thank you.
Linker cannot be here tonight. She is actually in Dallas at a band event, so we're going to move to the next one. She's from the Don Tyson School of Innovation. Caroline Netzel. Caroline Jackson. Caroline is also from J.B. Hunt, Hellstern Central, and HAR-BER. Caroline, who did you ask to come here?
So I asked Mr. Fink and Mr. Pianalto to come. Okay, I'm going to start with Mr. Fink. So he's been my calculus teacher last year and this year, and having him as my teacher has been one of the greatest blessings of my school career. Although calculus is a really difficult subject, he makes the material approachable and interesting. And when I don't understand something, he opens up the classroom to allow us to feel comfortable to ask as many questions as we need. He doesn't just use his class time to teach, though. He makes every day fun as we debate things in the classroom and have intellectual conversations about quite literally everything that comes to mind. The connections that Mr. Fink develops with his students are so crucial to the way he teaches. By learning about each of us, he's able to cater his answers to every question, specifically to the student that asks. I'm so incredibly thankful for having Mr. Fink as a teacher for the past 2 years, as he's made me feel comfortable asking questions in environments where I normally would be nervous to. He's taught me the value of struggling when learning in order to learn the best way I can, and he's made a conscious effort to make me feel seen and heard in his classroom. He challenges me in so many ways to grow as a student and person, and I'm just so thankful for him.
Sir, can you tell us who you are again?
Yeah. Travis Fink. Wow, that was very touching. Thank you, Caroline. It's not lost on me that I get to work with the best and the brightest. Like I said, AP Calculus is a natural funnel, but students don't have to take calculus. There are other pathways that they could choose, and they definitely don't have to take 2 years. And so I'm very, very thankful. So when I think about Caroline, you know, math is not a performance art, but she is a natural performer. And so she kind of brings alive the classroom, and it's kind of her stage. And so she was actually, I think, a part of Claire's lively group of gals last year. And unsurprisingly, she's a group of another lively bunch of gals this year. But I really have loved Caroline's ability to ask questions. Calculus is intimidating a lot of times, and it's easy to be off to the side, nodding, assuming you know, but Caroline's brave enough to ask those questions. It propels the learning forward, and it kind of lowers the barrier. But she's clever enough to phrase them in really unique ways, like, Mr. Fink, I totally understood everything you said, but in case anybody in the room didn't get that, could you maybe state that again? And we do get off on some lively discussions, and I think that is tactical to distract us maybe from the learning goal. Sometimes I'm even foolish enough to take the bait and go off on a tangent, but calculus is the best place for those things. But I just am super thankful for the ability to work with you, Caroline. You're a bright light, and you've got an extremely bright future ahead of you. Even though calculus wasn't something you needed, I'm glad that you took it, and I hope you're better for it. I'm better for having you in class, so thank you.
And then I also recognize Mr. Pinalto. Mr. P has been my choir teacher for the past 3 years at HAR-BER. I've been in multiple choirs. I was in Bel Canto my sophomore year, and then since last year, I've been in Camerata and in Lighthouse. Mr. P is hands down one of the most incredible educators that I've had throughout my entire life. Although choir is not an academic class, the lessons I've learned from him have been invaluable to me in my development as a student and as a person. Mr. P has 4 rules in his classroom, which are be brave, or not being able to perform in front of others, act kind through being inclusive and remembering that everyone is going through something, seek truth, being honest to others and especially yourself about everything, and show grit, just putting an effort into working hard every day in everything we do. And I've worked really hard to apply these rules to my life outside of choir as well. Mr. P makes an effort to make personal connections with students every day, making everyone in choir feel valued and seen. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to be taught by Mr. Pinalto for these last 3 years, as he's helped me to grow in my life in so many ways besides just being a musician.
I feel like I too kind of get like the cream of the crop comes through at the end for these things, and these guys are so good. She's gonna hate my speech here because Caroline and I debate about the use of AI. And I'm old, but I'm in on whatever technology's next. Like, line it up, let's go. It makes my life more efficient, I can do things. So AI, I asked to write a response for Caroline. Dude, this gets way better, hold on. Okay, it spit out an answer I've not seen. Like, normally it shows it, and it shows it in little dots, and it shows you the things. It was one blank thing, like it sent me a text. And so I was like, this is kind of weird, but here's what it wrote. Caroline Netzel doesn't need AI to write her story. She's been writing it herself, note by note, year after year. A National Merit Scholar and a soprano that can cut straight to the heart of a concert hall. She's the kind of student every choir director hopes for, but rarely finds. The one who fills the cracks before one who fills the cracks before anyone even sees them, then seamlessly steps into the spotlight when the music demands it. Caroline is like watching a legacy earn its own name. She has grown from a quiet kid in the risers to a quiet force, someone who doesn't sing the notes, but lives the space between them. That's not AI, that's Caroline.
August Norman. I saw Okay, August comes from Lee Elementary and the Don Tyson School of Innovation. August, who did you ask to come this evening?
I've invited Mr. Cohey and Mr. Robinson.
Okay, hit it. What do you got to say?
I'll begin with Mr. Cohey. He has been my theater teacher ever since 6th grade. He has taught me so much about what it means to be an adult and a person in the world, as well as a performer and a scholar. He has linked theater and performing arts to academics in ways that are so numerous and have made me motivated to grow as a person. He is the face that I have seen third most next to just my parents. I have stayed late at school, or late into the night, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., rehearsing for plays, building sets, and working under his guidance. He is a force to be reckoned with. He is an incredible educator. He made me passionate about school and excited to attend every day. I can't thank him enough for the person I am today and the help he's given me along the way. Yeah.
Many moons ago, DTSOI was doing a production of The Jungle Book. And we had the auditions, and this spunky little 6th grade kid came in, and he ended up getting cast as Mowgli in the show. If you know the show, he's the little kid that gets raised by Baloo and Bagheera. And then right after that, the world shut down from COVID. So that show, like everything else in the world, got canceled, put on hold till the next year after, whatever it was. And August comes back that summer about 3 feet taller. And it's like, well, we got to do some rearranging on this one here. So we did a little re-auditioning, some shuffling around, and August played Bagheera in that version, because that's a tall Mowgli. August is a collaborative creator. He's a great student and a formidable artist. We at Don Tyson School of Innovation, innovative. We want to do new stuff, and August was the first student playwright who got produced on our stage. So August Played the Color Beige was our first student work, and we've gone on to do other stuff since then. So I knew whenever we got that in there that August is gonna set some things on fire, in the good way though.
August, who is next on your list?
Mr. Robinson.
Okay, is he here?
I don't see him in the audience, so I can introduce him though. Mr. Robinson was my 5th grade homeroom teacher. He gave me support that I needed in a time that was challenging for me. At the time, I was an undiagnosed autistic student, and many teachers don't have tools to deal with that, but in spite of that, he gave me a place in the classroom. He gave me tools, he helped me make friends, he gave me opportunities, and he made me feel welcomed. He made every day of that year excellent, and I credit him with my current love for learning. I think that without his intervention, kindness, and consideration, that I would not be the scholar I am today, and that I would not be capable of nearly what I am in the present.
You're awesome. Last but not least, and by the way, is this not cool? Is this not cool? Andrew Shellhammer. Come on up. How you doing? All right. Andrew Shellhammer from Hellstrom Middle School and the Don Tyson School of Innovation. Tell us, who did you ask to come here tonight?
I invited Mr. Brazil and Miss Azrai. I don't know if either of them were able to make it tonight. I don't know if either of them were able to make it tonight, but no. But I will talk about them anyways. Mr. Brazil was my AP Calculus AB teacher. Last 12 years of high school, for the vast majority of it, math has been my least favorite subject. Not a math person. But I walked into Mr. Brazil's class in 10th grade, and he completely changed my perspective. Calculus is a lot of new concepts, very heavy concepts that are hard to wrap your head around. And it was his first year teaching AB. He did an amazing job explaining some very complicated things. He was really good at visualizing for everyone. One of my best memories of his class, he was cutting a pear with kindergarten scissors to try and explain how to calculate the volume of a rotated function. And it was an excellent explanation. I love to remind him about it because he thought it was going terribly while he was doing it. But he was just a fantastic teacher and really made me love calculus and convinced me to take BC the next year with Miss Azrai. Miss Azrai had also never taught BC before. And the whole year, it felt like we were kind of all learning it together, which taught me a lot of independence. And I really was able to get a close connection with Miss Azrai. I absolutely would not have performed as well on the national exam if the class setting hadn't been like it was. We really felt like a team, all trying to tackle BC together. And the BC content isn't a ton more than AB, so we ended up having a lot of extra time. And she went out and found just calculus applications that aren't on the national exam and taught them to us. We really had to dive very deep in the content, and it helped me become a better student.
That's all. Thank you. And that's it. That's our National Merit finalists. And I got to say this too. None of this is happening, on an island. All the parents that are here in this room, I would like for them to stand up so that we can applaud them too, because our teachers are, getting leadership from you guys and from their principals, and all the supplements and resources that they get to pour into these kids over the years. And then, of course, organically, you get to watch it right here in your very eyes, and it equals into love and appreciation and admiration and just growth. And I think it's really cool. So this may have been a little bit long, but it was a really cool moment too. So, board, thank you for all that you do. And that's our 2025-26 National Merit finalist. Let's go outside and get a group picture, okay?
All right, we can get started. That is an incredibly tough act to follow. As a middle school teacher, I'm really glad we don't always get to see the end journey of all of our students. So that was like a really personally enjoyable thing. We need to bottle that up for our future educators. That's like the kind of stuff that keeps you going on those tough days. We're excited to be here today to just show you a little bit about some of the successes of the students this year, both at East Conference and beyond.
We had 105 students attend the annual national conference last month in Hot Springs. 3 of the students from across the district served as leadership team members helping run the conference. Students represented finalists in 10 different categories, and 3 of our schools walked away with Judges' Choice Awards, which are kind of like the creme de la creme for giving an amazing perception and performance to the judges, as well as having a fantastic booth and speaking engagements with judges throughout the conference. This was my, 12th, 13th year attending, and I will say that it was, to me, maybe the most impressive spread we had in terms of student presentations, both visually and with their spoken presentations. I was very proud of our school and our district. We were spread out across the floor, and immediately going down any aisle, I just knew without even looking who the Springdale students were. They were prepared. They did a beautiful job. They were stars.
All right, and so you can see we've got some of our winners up there. Jackson from Sonora, as well as the podcast crew from Parson Hills. They were recognized for winning their categories. Parson Hills has been working really hard on their podcast this last year and a half. And then Jackson ended up making a map for Arkansas Game and Fish that shows dynamically where snake venom is located. So like if you're out at Hobbs State Park and you get bit on the east side of Hobbs State Park, his map will show you the closest clinic that actually has snake bite venom in stock. But if you are on the opposite side of Hobbs State Park, you might actually want to go to a different clinic. It's so big. And we've also featured some student quotes and some facilitator quotes throughout the slides. I just want to talk a little bit more about those Judges' Choice Awards. That's kind of what I compare to like the coaches poll, if you want to compare it to college athletics. These judges are facilitators, they're clients, they're principals in the area. They go through and they see a slew of different programs, and they chose these 3 programs and they know these kids, they know these projects. Nobody knows these football teams better than the coaches. Nobody knows these projects better than these judges. And so those are 3 pretty spectacular awards.
The student success, I say, is like contributed to a lot of things, right? The students themselves, the facilitator in their program, the support of Springdale Public Schools, who's like no other in supporting East programs across the district. But I also wanted to give a shout out. We asked the facilitators to send us just lists of different community partners that work with students, that collaborate on projects. And I had to cut it off because I ran out of room on one slide. But it's just such an amazing experience that these people in our community are investing in our students. They're collaborating with their students. They're giving them hands-on career readiness skills from 3rd grade through 12th grade, and we're very appreciative of them. And so I just wanted to recognize their contributions to our classrooms.
And then on this last slide, just kind of to continue to go on to those clients and that community focus, just last week we had the big Showcase of the Arts event, which Abigail Farrell, who was here earlier with our administrative leadership team, she's also the facilitator at J.O. Kelly. Brittany Berry played a big part of that. Trent Jones, our art department. To see all of that go down in downtown Springdale, where Emma kind of becomes a hot spot and Springdale really gets to shine. Like, just in my own family, my mom was there. She wanted to watch Janae. I was there doing East things. My brother's over at the Medium with his kids looking at their art that they did in class. Like, that's some of the coolest stuff that we've got going on, is when downtown Springdale is able to sing so many different songs, but it's actually the same lyrics of how awesome we are at, doing these different projects, showcasing different things. And it was really exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, so overall, that's kind of our conclusion. We still have 2 months to go. We're looking forward to getting back and continuing to complete projects with students and help them shine. And I'm personally going to actually show them some of the footage from tonight and the students beforehand. And we hope to see some of these students that you're looking up here on the screen in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years as they continue their educational journey into excellence. Thank you.
Hi. Hope you all are having a good evening. I'm Mr. Terrell. I'm the theater teacher at Har-BER High School, and I get to talk tonight about the Arkansas State Thespian Festival that we hosted at Har-BER this past February. It was a 2.5-year kind of planning process trying to get us to be able to. I had to bid for it with the State Thespian Society, and basically invite them up and let them look at our facilities and see what we have. And I've been to, this year was my 10th Thespian Festival, and for the first 9, I've always had to go to Russellville or Jonesboro or somewhere else. And I was thinking a few years ago that why can't we have it here in Northwest Arkansas? I mean, we have a lot of schools up here, and they don't get that we always have to travel. So it would be nice for us not to have to go there for once and have it come to us. And so with the help of my principal, Dr. Griep, who's in the back here, he was like a huge supporter. When I went to him and said, this is my idea, this is what I want to do, he goes, well, I know who we need to talk to. And so he connected me with Dr. Smith, and Dr. Smith got Ms. Tischer involved, and we all kind of sat down and had a meeting and discussed it, and basically worked around so we could work out the process to get the Thespian Society to agree to come look at our facility and do use our facilities for it. But it was a successful event on February 12th through the 14th, and we had around 50 schools that came from all around the state to account for about 1,700 theater students from all over the state that came to our facilities. And it was a phenomenal experience. My students had a great time with it. And I feel like it represented Springdale really well because we had Springdale High's theater troupe there. We had DTSOIs as well as Har-BER's present. And our kids participated in 9 different competition events, like solo acting, solo musical, duet acting, duet musical, those sort of events. And of the 9 that we participated in, we ended up with 5 superiors, which is the top rank of what you can get. So I was really proud of the kids on that. But it was basically 2.5 days of nonstop theater. My kids had a blast, and it was just the best experience for them. And I hope that I know that the society has already asked if we're willing to host it again. And I have told them not this next year because I need a little bit of a break because it was a very tough event. It was a lot of back and forth running all around, but it was a great experience. My kids had a great time. But I want to take a moment to really brag about our food service here in Springdale. When I was going through the process, one of the things they asked me was how will they feed meals in our space? And I said, well, Har-BER has a very large cafeteria, and we're used to feeding around 2,000 students daily. And I said, our staff is really good at that. And so I reached out to our food service manager for the district, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll come meet you. We'll talk about it. We'll make it happen. And I said, fantastic. And she asked if I had any kind of things I want to have happen. And I said, well, I want the food obviously to be good, right? Everyone wants the food to be good. I want it to be cost effective. And I'm like, that's another thing, because I don't want to cost them too much. But the one thing I asked her was that I wanted the food to be of a quality that the people look at it or walk away going, that was cafeteria food? Not, oh, that was cafeteria food. Like, I want them to really be excited about it. And every single comment I've had about festival, about the food, was exactly what I wanted. And so I want to brag on the food service because they worked really hard. They fed almost 2,000 students 3 meals at festival, and it was almost like it was seamless for them. They had no issues. There was no conflicts. They had everything from normal meals to we did dietary needs. We made sure that kids that were gluten-free had every option they could have, and it wasn't just a salad. And it was really good, and I was really appreciative of them. So I wanted to brag on them on that. And then the last thing I want to say, this is kind of me just kind of saying, we are currently in the production at Har-BER of our production of Matilda that opens in 2 days. And so I'm going to be leaving here in just a few minutes to go back to rehearsal. But I wanted to the kids wrote some personal invites for you guys, and I wanted to give those out to you guys before I leave. And I just want to say thank you guys for the time, and thank you guys for being supportive of the arts here in Springdale and allowing us to do the things we get to do. Because without you guys helping us, we wouldn't be able to do the things we do. So thank you guys so much for that. So I'm going to come up and hand you those, and that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Emerson, members of the board, and Dr. Cleveland. It's my honor tonight to recognize Dr. Randy Hebner for being named the 2026 Arisa Health Mental Health Champion. This distinction reflects Dr. Hebner's unwavering commitment to supporting the mental health and well-being of students, staff, and families. Her leadership, compassion, and dedication have strengthened partnerships, expanded access to services, and helped create a culture where mental health is prioritized and supported. We are very grateful for her advocacy, collaboration, and tireless efforts to ensure students receive the care and support they need to thrive. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Hebner on this well-deserved recognition.
Well, believe it or not, I'm not the first person from my family to speak in front of you. You were at Elmdale Elementary a couple of months ago, and one of the little house leaders is my daughter, Aurelia Ray. And so that was a wonderful experience for her, and it was a big deal that she got to be in front of you. So thank you, and I can't wait to go home and tell her that I was second and that she got to set that precedent for our family, and I got to live up to it. So that is awesome. I appreciate so much the opportunities that being in the Springdale School District has provided me professionally and provided all of my kids. I have her at Elmdale. I've got one at Don Tyson who thinks that Mr. Key hung the moon. And then I've got one with me at HAR-BER who has so many people that she loves there too. And all of them are so well cared for. And because that's the type of professionalism that you bring and the kind of standard that you set as a counselor, I get to come in and provide the support that they need to make them well-rounded. I've been at small districts in the past where I am all of the things, and there's not as many pieces of me to go around in those positions. And I just thank you guys so much for how much you prioritize the counseling departments, our ability to provide services, and our ability to support our students so that they are 8 National Merit Scholar finalists, etc. So I appreciate it. It's wonderful. I will close reading Dr. Greep's little nomination, if that's okay. I would like to share with you. I thought it was very kind. Dr. Hebner is an innovative and deeply caring counselor whose vision and heart for others truly set her apart as a leader in her profession. The impact she has on students and families is evident not only in her daily work, but also in the unsolicited feedback we regularly receive. Below is an example message shared by a family. All identifying information has been removed to protect confidentiality. I want to brag on someone at your campus. She is such an amazing person. Professionally, she's been so helpful. Personally, she's been one of the kindest people I've met. She's genuine and always goes the extra mile. We've only communicated a handful of times regarding scheduling and college planning tools, and while minimal, I find this point very important because our questions were small and it would have been easy to dismiss our needs. Instead, every interaction was met with warmth and humility. My daughter feels comfortable asking her anything about college and has even shared that she would talk to her if there were ever problems at school. That level of trust was built in just a few meetings. My mom always told me that if a compliment is placed on your heart, you should share it right away, so here I am. As a parent, thank you for having her on your team. As a teacher, I would be fortunate to have her in my building. I hope she knows how valued she is. The feedback reflects what we receive every day. This is Dr. Green. Dr. Hebner builds trust, leads with compassion, and makes a lasting difference in the lives of our students and families. And I want to say that's true of every single team member that we have on the counseling department at HAR-BER because you guys have set us up to succeed so well. So thank you all.
Tonight, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the outstanding achievements of our band and choir directors across the district. The success of our finance program does not happen during the school day alone. It's built through early morning and late afternoon practices and weekend competitions. These educators are not only teaching music, they're developing discipline, teamwork, confidence, and leadership in our students. They set high expectations, model excellence, and create environments where students learn the value of hard work and perseverance. Because of their leadership, students grow not only as performers, but as individuals prepared for success in life. Our directors also serve as mentors, role models, and they also build strong relationships with students, communicate with families, and represent our schools with pride. The performances we see are the result of hours of preparation, thoughtful instruction, and a deep belief in what students can achieve. We want our band and choir directors to know how much they are valued. This Springdale School Board, Dr. Cleveland, and all of us across the district are incredibly thankful for your dedication, your service to our students and families, and your willingness to do what it takes to get the job done. Your work brings enormous distinction to our district and creates limitless opportunities for our students. And tonight, we're going to talk about a few of those. Whereas this year, they had 733 students qualify for all region. 120, that's a new 3-year record there for all state. 19 ACDA, it's actually SWATCA qualifiers. And then I wanted you to know also that around 4,700 students participate in the performing arts band and choir programs, and that they are excelling in what they do. And also, here's just a graph here. They had a small decline in all region numbers, you can see, and those are going to fluctuate because of just such large numbers there. But then also you can look just over the last 3 years at the increase in all state qualifiers. So that's a pretty amazing thing there for them. I'm going to start out with some band recognitions. We're going to start here with Mr. Ford, just to say a brief word about some of the accomplishments his band did this year. So Mr. Ford.
Good evening. We had a record number for us in our 21 years, which I didn't see coming. We have a small junior class. Those are the kids COVID is still cycling through and all of that. So, I'm just really super proud of the directors at Central and Southwest and Helen Tyson and Hellstern, because that all starts when they're in 7th grade. And we just finished the job, when they've gotten up to 10th grade. But we did have the best numbers we've ever had since we've been open, so we were really excited about that.
So HAR-BER had 85 all-region players and 29 all-staters. You can see just some of the all-state results right there as well. And then also Mr. Julius Stevens with SHS band program.
It really is a privilege to be able to, like Mr. Ford said, just kind of talk about the feeder patterns. The work that the junior high and middle school staff does is really remarkable. To see those kids excited about music and excited about the rigor of doing an all-region or all-state. They can love music, but you got to really get them to really push hard to do this because it's more competitive in Northwest Arkansas and in Arkansas as of late. So that growth and the drive that those students are getting at the junior high, my staff up at the high school, Ms. Mendoza, and just our great administration as well, Mr. Jones, and all the support we get. It's really spectacular. 2 very quick stories just about that. So the all-region numbers were great. We were really pumped. That's about where we normally sit, but every year we're really proud of that. Some really great jazz results as well. There were 2 kids in particular. One kid, a tubist, ended up being 2nd chair in the entire state of Arkansas by about 20 points. And to see actually him cry when he got that information was really, really excited, because he was close his 10th grade year, missed out, close his 11th grade year, also missed out. And then, that self-doubt kind of comes in when we're telling this kid, man, you sound great. You're putting in the work. And for him to finally get that done and have that self-belief was really cool. And then another little fun aside, probably the most popular musical instrument known to man, the bassoon. We had a bassoonist who made it, got to sit right by a HAR-BER kiddo, and they had a great time together, and just getting to see them play actually in an orchestra with an Australian conductor was really, really exciting. So to get to see that together, district to district, and then a really great conductor was really spectacular. So we're really proud of them.
So as you can see, they had 62 all-region players and 9 all-state players. And there's some more of those results from orchestra and then also from the all-state. And then Mr. Jeff Key with some results for band as well.
Well, as one of the most senior members of this staff, I will say that in 29 years of teaching, and this being the 8th year of our existence at Don Tyson of having music, I never would in a million years dream that we would have numbers like this, and it's all due to the hard work of the kids and this wonderful staff. We are fortunate that we have some really good numbers here early on with our short-lived history so far in our band program. And I also want to mention one of the other accolades. He shared a story. I'll share one as well. One of the National Merits finalists, Willow Linker, is in a national competition, percussion competition. In my 29 years, I've had a lot of students have a lot of success. But she is my first student to get a full ride at UNT, which is one of the most prestigious music programs in our country. So, and she's off at a very prestigious percussion competition. But very fortunate to have a great school board that supports us, administration, and students and parents. So, thank you.
As you know, Don Tyson is unique to have that feeder program in junior high. So they had 44 all-region junior high students, 52 high school all-region, and then 16 all-state students, which was just phenomenal. There's some more of those results too. And then also some of the feeder programs for these programs: Central Junior High, 43 all-region students; Southwest Junior High, 43 all-region students as well. And then Lakeside had 30 all-region students. And George Junior High had 24 all-region students. So we're very proud of all the success that we've had there. And then also just region marching contest assessment. We both, HAR-BER and Springdale High School bands both received first divisions. That's the highest rating you can receive for marching band. And then we won't go through all these schools, but I did list them here that you could see. The highest division for concert assessment, those, the one on the left is the first day and the one on the right is the second day. So you can see there that, that our bands did very, very well as well at the concert assessment as well. I'm going to also move on to just this middle school piece here as well that I'm not sure that everyone in our community is aware that we bring in, we have 4 middle schools. We audition for that, and then those middle school kids all come together and perform as one group. So they'll rehearse all day long. They'll have a guest conductor come in and then have a concert. So they're playing with J.L. Kelly kids and Hellstrom kids and Snore kids are all playing together. And it's really a unique event that we have here in Springdale. And the choir does that too. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And then the choir, I want Mr. Clint Pianalto to come up and just visit about some of the successes he's had at HAR-BER High School.
Hi, guys. Really good year for these kids. What a great group of seniors this is. Like, we're going to miss this group of kids. 47 kids in the all-state choir, which is third for us. But honestly, in the last 6 years, we've been lucky enough to lead the state in all-state in 6 years in a row, and that was the first time we ever did it. It was 6 years ago, and so still getting to rock it out. A couple of things that we're really proud of from HAR-BER's side is that that's not just us doing it, it's everybody in the system. So it's middle school all the way up through junior high. It's everybody helping these kids. It's a family, and they're just bringing them all up from the bottom. We're doing really well with our just with our team teaching and how we're working on that. One award that you might see on here is HAR-BER had his first ever 3 straight 100s at CPA, and we think that's a cool thing. It's my second time in my career. I got one in 2005 in Bentonville, and then this group was the first group of kids that has ever had one from HAR-BER, and that's 3 straight 100s in a row. So it was pretty cool. Well, they did some screaming and all yelled, and they're pretty happy about getting to do it. But they're putting in the work right now, and they're really doing some polished stuff, so we think we're going to see it at the end. We also want to brag on a couple of students. We've got one currently at Harvard that's leading the Veritones. He's directing and arranging. Mr. Billingsley, he's amazing. We got a kid that's currently singing at Belmont, and he is with the Pitchmen, and they won ACA Worlds. So like you see on Pitch Perfect, he actually went through the quad and they recruited him. He became a member. He's got a stylist and he learns how to dance, and it's Mr. Bunch, and he's amazing and he's doing it. Sang with Andrea Bilcelli, and then we've got Addison DeShazo, who just signed a contract with Atlantic Records for like 20 songs. So like, as far as making it, there's a chance that we could see that kid on the Ryman before long. So just doing some really good stuff, and it's all due to system, man. The kids are just doing awesome. So we appreciate you guys for supporting us.
So you can see HAR-BER's results were 95 all-region students, 47 all-state, and 11 SWATCA students. and we're very proud of that. Miss Millie Peters is going to come up and visit with you about Springdale High School.
Hello, board. Thank you for having us. This is my 30th year of teaching, so I've got you beat, Jeff. I'm at the stage now where I have kids that say, my mom had you as a teacher. That's where I am now. But I wanted to bring up these fabulous people because my job would not be what it is if I didn't have the support that I have from my students coming up. So this has been Wynn and Mindy there at Lakeside Junior High. This is Dax Driggs and Casey Jones are at George. And then we have wonderful dynamic teachers at our middle schools that are just lighting fires for our kids and making them excited about being involved in the choral arts. And as I said, this is my 30th year, so I've seen a lot of change since my very first year at J. O'Kelly Middle School. And it's been wonderful to be a part of this district and to be part of a district that values the arts and is supportive of the arts. And it's wonderful to be able to see the numbers in all region and all state and things like that, but there's kids that are working really, really hard every day in rehearsal. And they deserve some recognition too. So thank you so much for your support and thanks.
So you can see the accomplishments there for Springdale High School is 29 all-region students and 9 all-state students. And then also for Don Tyson, I'm going to let Miss Cindy Key come up and just visit with you about her success there.
Well, hello. At Don Tyson, we're still feeling the effects of COVID. So we saw a little dip in, not really in our numbers, but this was a sophomore heavy choir this year at the senior high level. But surprisingly, those were some of our highest scoring students at the all-state level. So you just never know. We've had a really good year, and we presented for you about a month ago. So we were busy with the being the honor choir for the state. So that kept us really busy. Our numbers are really good for all region and all state. So that was super. I can't say enough. I will say this, I cannot let Clint Pianalto be the only person to say anything about a 100 because my choir received our first 100 this year at Don Tyson. And so our kids actually wanted to wear 100 tattoos around the school and everything. So they were really super excited about their scores. So it's been a really good year, and I cannot say thank you enough for all of your support. We have wonderful students at Don Tyson. Come hear us sing. They're great. Thank you.
You can see those Don Tyson's results up there with 40 all-region students, 24 high school all-region students, and 10 all-state students. So they did very well. And then some of those feeder programs, we have Central Junior High with 68 all-region students and 4 SWATCA students. And then we also have Southwest with 40 all-region students and 4 SWATCA students. And there's some more results from Southwest. We also have Lakeside that had 24 all-region students. And then Ben Wynn is going to have an upcoming Carnegie Hall performance coming up soon. So Ben, wave your hand there. So that's going to be good. And then also George Junior High, we had 24 all-region students at George Junior High. You can see those results there. And then CPA for concert performance assessment for choral, all the results are there, and all of our choirs did very, very well. They actually give a score on theirs, which is really, bragging rights. And they've done very, very, very good on those as well. And then I did want to mention that we had one of our middle schools that competed with all region. Well, that's Miss Lori Hanlon. Is she here tonight? Oh, she's not. Miss Lori Hanlon at Sonora Middle School had 6 students make all region, and that's a really great thing we normally don't compete there, but Lori was really wanting to do that. We allowed her to do that, and she had 6 students that made that, which is really great. And then the choir does also a all-city choir where they had 246 students participate from all 4 middle schools, and it's great to get all those together. And if you've never been to one of those events, you really need to go because it is an amazing thing that they do there. And then last but not least, we're going to have to change the date of this just to accommodate to make sure that all kids can get there. I think now we're going to be on Thursday, May 21st, but we'll have a fine arts signing day where we'll have, I'm just going to guess, about 25 or 30 kids that have scholarships, and then we'll recognize them all on that night. And that'll be at Don Tyson School of Innovation, and we'll do that. And then just before I go, just a couple of, finish up with this section, there's some upcoming performance dates for you, and hopefully you'll get to come to all the community members. We'd love you to come out and see those dates. And then last but not least, I'm gonna say thank you, but we all need to work with people that push us. I hope you agree with that. And there's a lot of folks here that make me think differently and always are pushing to get better at getting better. And that's what makes this group so special, is they're not satisfied where they were last year. They're always looking to get better the next year, and then the next year get better than that. And so I'm very thankful that I get to work with them. And it's part of the reason I like to get up in the morning and I don't want to go home in the afternoon. And so just thank you all for all that you do, and we very much appreciate all of your efforts and what you do for kids.
We also appreciate Mr. Donnell.
Yes, thank you. Okay, last but not least, I'm so excited to tell you tonight that we have been awarded the Health and Wellness Prevention. And if I could get Deb Crawford and Shauna Lyons to come up here. Sorry, I forgot to do that, Deb. Didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. We've been awarded the Health and Wellness Prevention Recovery Education Program grant. It's for short, it's PREP funds. It's not a grant. I said grant, I got to fix myself from doing that. So in the amount of $600,000 over the next 2 years, this funding will support health and wellness and prevention specialists who will serve students and families across 8 secondary schools and elementaries, all the elementaries and 8 secondary schools. I'm really pleased to announce that we gave this opportunity, worked with Deb to give this opportunity to some of our current employees so that they can be paid with grant funds, or not grant funds, just see, I'm gonna have a hard time with that. Funds, yes, contracted funds. And so that's going to save our district about $200,000, which is really fantastic, and give them some opportunity to get more certifications, more training, all of that, and increase their income as well. These positions will focus on proactive prevention, early intervention, and recovery. And also their work will include student health and wellness support, early identification and intervention for at-risk students, family outreach and connection to resources, collaboration with counselors and nurses and administrators, and substance abuse prevention education, and school-wide prevention programming for students and staff and families. We're especially excited to partner with Dr. Deb Crawford. I said Dr. Deb Crawford. Deb Crawford, regional prevention provider with Community Clinic. This collaboration strengthens our ability to provide coordinated services, expands prevention efforts, and ensures that students and families have access to trusted support, so people that they already know. Through these funds, we're investing in prevention, building protective factors, and supporting students before challenges become serious. These 4 specialists will help us create consistent support across 8 secondary campuses and all of our elementary schools to better serve the whole child. And our goal is clear and powerful. It's one that says every student graduates prepared for life with skills and support to make safe and healthy choices. That's really at the crux of what we're trying to do here. We're grateful for this opportunity and look forward to the positive impact this work will have on our students, families, and community. And I want for Deb to have an opportunity to say something, and also Dr. Lyons, if you'd like to.
Well, I just want to say this program was piloted in Hot Springs, was highly successful, and so they're rolling it out throughout the state. Hot Springs was renewed for their funding. I think there'll be, we were counting it up, 9 positions in the state next year. We think 9 or 10. Springdale will have 4 of those positions. Fayetteville will have 2 of those positions. So we have 6 of those positions in Northwest Arkansas. So we're thankful. It was a lot of writing to get this non-grant funding, and so we're just thankful for Deb's support, because I couldn't have done all the work without her.
So to tell you a little bit about where this funding is coming from, this is a part of the settlement from the lawsuit against the pharmaceutical companies for the overselling of opioids. And so it goes into the municipalities. Kirk Lane, who is our former state drug director. He oversees that now. And they came up with this brilliant idea, which actually the entire country is now looking at and trying to figure out how they can replicate it in other states. Because as far as I know, I think we're the only state that's actually using some of those funds in this manner. And so this is to put prevention recovery coordinators in schools where they have access to youth and parents and staff, and to be able to help them to become productive, healthy citizens in our world.
Do y'all have any questions? Okay. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Dr. Davis, he's really done some great work through alternative ed, and he's been recognized nationally. And so we want to recognize you at school board meetings for the work you're doing nationally.
Well, thank you so much. I feel like it's not much of a recognition after all the great things we've heard tonight, but I honestly, I have to thank Dr. Lyons, who was just up here a second ago, because when I was first hired at Archer, she sent me to the conference. And because of that, I just kept getting roped into more responsibilities. And eventually that led to where we are today. And I don't know that I volunteered. I just kind of kept getting selected. But it's because of the great work we're doing. People see the great stuff we do here in Springdale. I mean, we truly are a well-known program in alternative ed. And so I just get to kind of sit in the space to talk about the good work we do. So it's been fun, and so I'm happy to do it. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else I'm supposed to say, but thank y'all.
When's your term start?
It actually started in January, and it's a 2-year term. So I'm just about a year and a half left. So yeah. So yes, thank you.
Another person who has been celebrating kind of on the side tonight, she's been recognized statewide, and this is Gina Smith. She doesn't like the microphone, and she doesn't like to be recognized. We're going to do that tonight.
We're going to make you do both.
Make you do both.
Well, I was actually nominated for this by my team that knows I don't like recognition, but I appreciate them. They wrote some very nice things about me, and one of the biggest compliments that I received is that they said that I lead fairly. And, I'm here to support all the child nutrition staff, and then also to be support for the district and for our students, our teachers, our staff. And to get that compliment from my crew was just, it felt amazing. And when I went to the state conference, everyone there, we're just a big family because we work together, we call each other, we ask for advice, and everyone there made me feel like a star. So it was hard to be on the stage and be recognized, but I really appreciate them and all of my peers that selected me from the nominations. We will attend the national conference in July. It will be in North Carolina this year, and I'm being nominated for the National Director of the Year. So that's an honor in itself, too.
How many million meals do you serve a year?
A year? Lunch so far this year, I knew you were going to ask me that question, Dr. Cleveland. Yeah. So 2.7 million, I believe, so far this year for lunch. About 1.4 million for breakfast. I can't remember I want to say it was 90,000 supper meals, 140,000 pre-K snacks, and after-school snack. I don't know if you know that number. Yeah, pretty close to the supper. I want to say it's around 80,000 after-school snacks so far.
5 million meals before at our height.
Yeah.
That's, when you think about that number of meals that she and her whole team do, it's unimaginable.
Yeah, that doesn't even include the extras like the Thespian conference. He said some very nice things about our team, but we had a great time. It was interesting because we were able to pull together a team of cafeteria staff that work in other cafeterias, and for 2 days, for 3 meals, they worked together, and of course we had some hiccups. I'm glad that they didn't see it on their side, but our team did a great job, and we had a lot of fun together, and really that's what we do. We come to work every day. It's a lot of hard work, but our team is amazing, and they make it look easy. I don't know how they do it, but they do make it look easy.
But you've got a lot of requirements. You've got USDA requirements, you've got state requirements, you've got budget requirements, you've got audit. You have a lot of things you have to do, and you make it look easy. So I don't get to talk about you publicly very often. All of us on the central office team, and I think I can speak for the board too, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Those audits, when they come in, knowing that you and your team always have your things together, it's done really well, there's never any issues, that's always a confident feeling. So we want to publicly thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor to work at Springdale. This is my 21st year in child nutrition. 9 of those have been here at Springdale, and I look forward to many more years, as long as you guys will have me. And I really appreciate working for you, Dr. Cleveland, and the rest of your team. And you guys have a great admin.
You'll outlast me.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm up to invite Ms. Jackson. Hi, Ms. Jill.
All right. Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Cleveland. So I am here tonight to talk to you a little bit about our proposed NAP and Bayari zones. So just to give you a little bit of backstory, our committee met. It was myself, Ms. Fink, Ms. Hayter, Mr. Conkin, Ms. Day, and Mr. White. We met over at Transportation with the big screen, and we kind of mapped everything out, looked at kind of what our zones looked like, and we had 3 goals in mind. Oops, this thing is touchy. We had 3 goals in mind: to disrupt as few students as possible, as few families as possible, keep students and families in the same feeder pattern, and then have Bayari be close to capacity. And so one of the things that the committee really talked about is, since Bayari is landlocked and there's not a lot of area for growth around Bayari, there's not a lot of development opportunities out there like there are with NAP. And so we wanted to make Bayari as close to capacity as we could. So we're going to look at the current Jones and NAP zones. This is them now. This is our current attendance zone. Jones is in yellow. NAP is in green. And then this is the current Bayari zone. It is north of the Jones zone. It's in the kind of the beige area there. It kind of looks gray up on that screen. Okay, so then this is the proposed Bayari and NAP zones. So the orange section is the proposed Jones sections that go from Jones to Bayari, and the green section is Jones to NAP. Okay, so when I kind of talked to you a minute ago about maximizing, we wanted to bring as many kids, keep all the Bayari kids obviously at Bayari, and then bring as many kids to Jones as we could to Bayari. And so that kind of shows you that square section that you see there, kind of down close to the airport. That's like that Applegate area. So that's Applegate, Strawberry Meadows, that area. And so that sending that area and the other orange area sends students to Bayari that allows Bayari to be as close to capacity as possible. Okay, the next two slides I'm going to show you give you an idea of proposed Jones students to Bayari. So the capacity of Bayari is 640, and so that shows you that 152 students will be going from Jones to Bayari, with Bayari having 471 students, so we would be at 623 with a capacity of 640. The next slide will show you the proposed Jones students to Knapp.
Just 1 second though, you already had multiple students that were in the Jones.
We did. I can go back to that. Yes, we already had multiple students at Jones that are zoned for Bayari, correct. It was probably, I'd have to look at our numbers, but we had several students that had transferred from Bayari, and then we have multiple special education students that are at Jones. Yes, thank you, Dr. Clinton. So this is Knapp. Their capacity is 1,035. And so you'll see that 187 students will be going from Jones to Knapp, and then Knapp has 505, which will take their total to 692. So this is a proposal, like I said, so this would come back to you in May for you to vote on. One of the things that the committee talked about is there's a lot of growth happening in downtown Springdale, in all of the areas around Jones. So we would probably need to look at this rezoning again in a few years, because there will be a lot of changes in that area where Applegate, Strawberry Meadows, those areas that are zoned for Jones right now we're proposing go to Bayari. So there could be some changes. So we might need to look at that rezoning again in a few years.
We just wanted to make sure we put this in front of you as a point of beginning, because now we've got to start parent conversations at Jones, and we also want to have conversations with Knapp and Bayard. So it's time to do those things.
Do you have any questions for me?
So it's really just a
Information.
record, and this is a place to start.
So meetings between now and the May meeting, and then come back with more in May.
Yes, with some recognition, there may be some tweaks, but
Sure.
of course, there have been multiple, my understanding is, parents that have lived in that walk zone, which is pretty broad. Jones have requested a bus in the past. Now they can get an opportunity to do some of those things. And it will be new, riding the bus for many students, even to that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got readers. Good evening. Dr. Cleveland and the board. The vision for grants in the Springdale School District is to provide the Springdale educational community with information on grant availability, as well as grant writing expertise to further fund educational opportunities for our students. And so that brings us back to, I know we've talked about it before, to the Empowerment Grant. And so the Empowerment Grant is our 2-year grant from the Walton Family Foundation. That's about $750,000, making up our empowerment team, so enlistment, enrollment, and employment. Within that, the grant has provided us with funds for our empowerment coordinators that focus on enrollment. And so I have them with me tonight to introduce them to you and to give you a little information. So first I have Melissa Myers. You can come up. So Melissa is at DTSOI in Archer, and she's an educator with 13 years of experience, beginning in world language instruction, before transitioning into college and career readiness. She holds a bachelor's degree in Spanish and a master's of arts in teaching, and she's always been committed to supporting students and families by removing barriers, including language, and promoting equitable access to opportunities. Melissa and her family are dedicated to Springdale Public Schools, where her husband is also an educator and their children attend school within Springdale Schools. So this is Melissa. We have Jasmine Navarro, who's at HAR-BER High School. And Jasmine was born and raised in Texas. I'll get to that in a minute. She played college soccer while earning her bachelor's degree in kinesiology and later pursued a master's degree in leadership to further her passion for guiding others. She began her career coaching college soccer before transitioning into education. She's excited about the opportunity to continue working with HAR-BER High School and contribute to its community. And I will say about the Texas part that we have dedicated her to the Northwest Arkansas area, and she now knows how to call the hogs. I told her that y'all were going to require her to do that tonight, and so that's why she keeps standing behind me. Because she was like, they're doing this thing where everybody's yelling and making these things, and I was like, oh yeah, you'll see that all the time, even on vacation. So she can do that afterwards if you guys need her to. So. And then last but certainly not least, I have Samantha Garcia Marquez. She is at Springdale High School. And this is a fun fact. I think that Michelle and Randy were there, but when I dedicated Sonora Middle School, I had the kids stand up to say that they were going to be readers and writers and mathematicians, and I forgot to say and empowerment coordinators. So Sam is a Springdale native. She attended George Elementary, Sonora Middle, DTSOI for the first 2 years, and then finished off at Springdale High School as part of the class of 2019. She has a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering and is finishing her master's degree in environmental engineering, both from the University of Arkansas. She credits her success to the amazing teachers and programs at Springdale Schools and hopes to continue fostering student success in the place that built hers. So this is Samantha. So far, they started kind of towards the end of January, mid-January. They've held 431 one-on-one meetings with students. We have the Springdale Public Schools Education Foundation scholarship growth has increased by 36% in applications, with a 40% rise in our CTE scholarship applications. We had one submitted just recently for someone funding it looking for a woman in accounting. And so that's been exciting to see that we have applications for our students in that area. For the U of A fellowships, they prepped 6 students, and all 6 were selected. Notably, 2 of them, on one of them, the Sturgis, we had 50% of the recipients. So that's a huge honor. U of A Path Honors Program, they prepped 4, 3 accepted, and Springdale Public Schools owns 3 of those 10 total scholarships. So, and then we have 1 LEDA recipient receiving the designation of LEDA Scholar designation. Interview prepped 1, and we have the 1. So, current initiatives, they're working on mock interviews right now, one-on-one parent meetings. I know they're still meeting with students to look at scholarships, and I know that Clinton Bell and I I had the fortune of meeting his daughter, and she was like, oh my goodness, we have someone at HAR-BER, I'm running down there. And so that's fun. They're working on Spanish outreach, our partnerships, and then just providing our middle schools and our junior high point of contact with shareable resources. So they've already held parent nights to start giving parents information before they reach the high school. And then their future initiatives, I'll let you read this, but I think most notably is like they're still going even though graduation is almost upon us. So they will start with juniors starting May 20th at HAR-BER High School. They're going to start essay workshops and prepping for college applications for next year. And so they'll start at HAR-BER and then do DTSOI and Springdale High School. So yes, thank you. Do you have any questions for them? I'm going to step aside. Hog calling.
Thanks for all you do.
Evening, board. Let me lower this a little. There we go. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you this evening and give you an update on what the AI task force has been up to. Before we start with that, I wanted to remind you of what our mission and objectives are for this task force. So quickly, our mission is to explore, evaluate, and promote the responsible use of artificial intelligence within the district to enhance learning, teaching, and operational efficiency. So I'm proud to report that through our list of objectives, we're at about number 3. And so we've worked quite a bit to try and identify AI best practices and what that looks like for the district. And so before I get into that, I just wanted to talk about some of the meetings that we've had. Specifically, the AI policy review has been myself, Dr. Langen, and Ms. Laura Bishop talking about what our usage guidelines will look like for the district and kind of the left and right limits for AI usage and what best practices and frameworks will look like for district adoption and implementation. And so then on the 31st, we had a discussion with the Arkansas Department of Education talking about specifically implementation of AI and what that's going to look like from a district perspective. And quite honestly, they were just as curious as we are about what that's going to look like for the state level and what artificial intelligence implementation is going to end up as in its final form. And you know, if you've watched the news, you've seen that it's 100 miles an hour, a different thing every week. AI is changing faster than we can adopt it in the district. And so our goals are to evaluate our best practices and be responsible in what we're going to do in implementing AI. And so I had a discussion on the 1st with a teacher, Cade Riggs, who works at DTSOI, who is doing some graduate work in artificial intelligence and education. And it was a very fruitful discussion that we had to talk about what AI usage will look like for the district. And so, first of all, our first objective is to identify tools to improve teaching and learning or for efficiency across the district. And we already have access to Google Gemini and by extension Notebook LM. And so those two tools are very powerful for the educational perspective. They integrate seamlessly into the environment that we already have. We don't have to spend extra money on it. The first thing that Kelly Hayes told me when I took over as technology director is don't end up on the front page of the paper because of decisions you make. And so I've tried to take that to heart and be very aware and cognizant of the money that we spend from the technology department. And so one of the efforts that we've done is tried to look for things that we already have or low-cost options for keeping up with technology and education. And so since we already have the Google Workforce for Education subscription for the district, Google Gemini and Notebook LM is a natural extension of that for the work that we're doing. And Then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the AI usage guidance, and I haven't provided a copy of you with this evening because it's still in development. We have an existing document, but we're still refining it. The AI task force is redlining the document to decide what its final form will look like. And it's going to continue to be a living document, but right now it's still pretty rough. So we're still working through the edits of that document. And I can provide that with you if you would like to see it. And so some of the high points of that document is this slide, which is the profile of an AI-ready graduate. And so it talks about the different avenues or opportunities that a student has through the use of AI. And so I won't read all those, but just know that we're trying to align our efforts with ISTE and what they're doing in terms of AI, and trying to really kind of pinpoint what our effort looks like from a district perspective. And so, as I mentioned, Objective 3 is pilot use cases throughout the district, and Cade Riggs, the conversation that I had with him was really enlightening about the work that he's doing. And so he provided his class with an assignment to write an essay, and then they really digested the work that they did with AI in this essay, prioritizing the human in the loop efforts. And so, the work that he wanted to do was really talk to his students about responsible use of AI and what that looks like when you're transparent through that. And so the human in the loop document in the middle is really the breakdown of how much usage of AI is included in the effort to write an essay as it exists in its final form to your turned in assignment, and then what the contribution is for the human and then the AI element. And so it was really pretty informative to talk about the efforts that he's doing and kind of how he's helping his students to understand that AI usage is a lot about being a responsible digital citizen. And so then we talked about the grade level proficiency standards, and we're still trying to outline what that looks like. And more specifically, the grade level proficiency is what each grade level or groups of grade levels should understand about AI as they proceed through their K-12 education. And so at each level, we're talking about what they should know, what they should understand, and that centers around like AI could have biases. AI is not, the end answer that you need. It's part of the solution. It's an increase in efficiency of the work that you're already doing. And so those are a lot of that discussion. And so we implemented that, or we discussed that when we had our most recent task force meeting. And so that was pretty informative. And then the principles and kind of the way we've broken this down is if you look at the concept of a mountain bike, motorcycle, and e-bike, those are your different levels of AI implementation. And so a mountain bike would be the efforts of all human interaction, no AI included, and it's going to be difficult but doable in most cases. The motorcycle would be the unpredictable and possibly even dangerous implementation of completely relying on AI without a human in the loop. And then the e-bike would be the balance between the two. And so the core message is that AI should augment the work that we do and not replace it. And so the next steps for the task force are going to be to establish data governance and interoperable systems, which means we're going to identify the systems we have in place, ensure that they are able to communicate one with another, and that we can utilize Gemini and NotebookLM to increase the efficiency of the systems that we already have in place in terms of data analysis and operational efficiency. And then the big one is to define educational and operational goals. And so I highlighted that sentence at the bottom, which really, to me, drives the work that we do, which is we want to solve problems. We don't want to implement unnecessary confusion or technology into the educational practice. Our teachers are experts in what they do, and they don't need more noise to do the work that they do. I want to find ways to help them be more efficient in that effort and not to cloud the work that they're already doing. And so after we define those educational and operational goals, the next step will be AI literacy for our students and staff and families and professional development. And I think that's the end. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer those, but that's the work that we've been doing. You're welcome.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Cleveland. I've got a construction update on Westwood Elementary. So we're still in the budgeting and planning stages of Westwood Elementary. And we have got bids back on our early site package, and we've got a GMP for that portion of the project. It's $7,399,252. And we've signed that contract, and so we're moving forward. So I'll have a lot of photos next month of progress that's being made because they'll start putting up construction fence tomorrow, and they'll start bringing equipment in and moving dirt. Also, while the contractor was bidding out, they estimated the total building cost. So we have a estimated cost of that project being $29,515,000. So the schedule right now, we're still working through the schedule, but right now it shows us moving into the new building Thanksgiving break of 27. And then once we move in there, we'll switch the construction site with the main current school site. And then we'll start demolition of that existing building and finish the site work for phase 2, and that'll be completed April of 2028. You guys have any questions? I don't know who made my slide. I have a pretty good idea. Thank you. Yep, that is. All right. If you guys don't have anything else, I'll turn it over to Kendra. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks.
Well, I have to make my own slides, so you can tell there. I don't have the correct font or shamrocks and hearts. But regardless, I am going to talk to you about the vacancy process. Just to recap, Mr. Emerson and Mr. Hutchinson were reelected to the board. We'd like to take this opportunity to say congratulations. They will now be serving an additional 6-year term. Something that is a little bit different this election is Mr. Emerson actually moved into a different zone. The law would have allowed him to finish his term in his prior zone, which was Zone 2, but he chose to run for his new resident zone, which is Zone 1, the seat that was vacated by Mr. Owenby. And so his election to Zone 1 created a vacancy in Zone 2. So that means you all are going to be charged with appointing someone to fill that vacancy. You have done this in the past. The process, most of you have done it in the past. The process will be mostly the same. There is some new legislation that makes it a little bit more prescriptive, and so I'm going to talk about what that looks like. This week, the publication is going to be made of, hey, we're looking for a Zone 2 board member. Here's the process. Here's how you submit your resume and petition. Anyone who is interested will have to be a resident of Zone 2, and I've got a map here. It's a little bit difficult to see, I understand this, but picture the northwest quadrant of our school district. If you need to see a better map, you can zoom this one in on our website, and it will be linked as we push all this information out. Essentially, you're looking at the bottom, the southernmost border of the zone is 412, and then it goes north up until where we start intersecting with Bentonville. We got a little Gentry over there too. It goes over a little bit past the interstate, you'll see, but mostly think of it as the northwest corner. If you know people who live in that zone who may be interested, I would encourage you to talk with them. Each potential applicant will have to submit a petition that is signed by at least 20 registered voters that live in Zone 2, pictured there. That application or that petition and application information will need to be submitted to either by mail, in person here at the district office, or we're going to set up a designated email address where they can submit that information. We do have to verify that all the people on that petition are in fact registered voters that live in that zone. We're going to work with the county clerk to be able to do that. So I would encourage anyone who's interested, maybe not wait till the last day in case there are some signatures that need to be, that maybe that person's not registered, maybe they don't live in the zone and they need to go get some more signatures, or get some extra signatures so you got some cushion. But I do want to say that we don't have a lot of leeway on that deadline, and we do have to verify.
What was that deadline again?
It is May 29th, and that will be in all the information that is pushed out as well. So when those applications, what is going to be asked in addition to the petition is a resume and just some simple questions: why the applicant's interested in serving as a board member, how the applicant feels qualified for service, the applicant's time availability and dedication to service, and what the applicant believes that are the 3 most important issues that will be facing the board in the coming years. We've also will be asking them to submit a resume just so you get a little bit more information about them. At your June regular meeting, so that is scheduled for June 9th, we will have anyone who submitted their information and application, and you all will get an opportunity to ask them questions. They will get 5 minutes to address you, do a presentation, and then you all can ask questions. You all will deliberate and make an appointment there at that meeting. Now, an interesting thing that may be a little bit different than what's been done in the past, the presentation by the potential board members, the questions by you, your deliberation, and your vote is all just done here in the open meeting, so everyone can see that. But again, that will happen at the June regular meeting. The vacancy must be filled by June 15th. So you have 90 days from when the vacancy is declared. It was actually declared March 17th. We were hoping to bring all this to you at your March meeting, but the election results weren't certified by the time the March meeting happened. So it pushed us just a little bit, but it's going to be okay. If for some reason in that June meeting something happens, you're saying we need more time, we would have to look at a special meeting after that that you could come back to make that appointment, because it does have to be done by June 15th. If you fail to do that by June 15th, the Quorum Court of Washington County will make that appointment for you. So, again, this is just an introduction for you. This is all going to be pushed out, newspaper, website, our parent communication platforms. I was talking to Mr. Jones today about different ways to get that out. So be looking for that. If you know people who are interested, tell them to be looking for that. And we should have that posted this week. Yes?
Will we be able to get the resumes and questions a week or so ahead of time to review, or is it all going to be dumped on us at the board meeting?
No, I envision getting that to you in advance of the board meeting. So if May 29th is the deadline, as soon as we can work with the county clerk to get the people on there verified, we'll get that information to you. So yes, as quickly as we can after we get the information. Yep, because I understand you probably want to review it, not just come in cold on who may be here. Any other questions? Okay.
You guys good?
Thank you.
Good, thank you. SCA.
Good evening, school board and Dr. Cleveland. My name is Valerie Hanna, and I serve as the SEA president and also a educator here in the district. Over the past month, we've heard significant concerns from our members regarding student enrollment numbers, school adjustments, and available positions for the current Springdale teachers. We recognize that our administrators are working diligently to develop a clear and sustainable plan, and we appreciate the progress that has been made. As we heard from Ms. Jackson earlier. At the same time, we also understand that uncertainty can create anxiety amongst our staff, and clear communication remains essential to the decisions that are going to continue to unfold. We were especially encouraged this last month by the decision to maintain the junior high school resource officers in our schools for another year. This choice preserves something deeply important: strong, trusted relationships, safer and more supportive responses to student behavior, and an approach that prioritizes growth, accountability, and care over other punitive measures. In a district like Springdale, where relationships and stability are critical, SROs serve not only as a safety professional, but also as a mentor and a connection to keep our students engaged and supported during pivotal stages of their development. Looking ahead, we would like to encourage the district to make those SROs a permanent priority within our budget. The potential cost of losing them far outweighs the short-term financial savings. If funding remains a barrier, this is an important issue to elevate to maybe our state leadership, and our students deserve that consistent protection, guidance, and investment. Now, on the lighter side, we are also excited that scholarship season is approaching, and once again, Springdale Education Association will be offering 4 scholarships for prospective educators from each high school, continuing our commitment to support and grow the next generation of educators. Thank you.
That brings us to our consent agenda. Do we have any questions on? Oh, I'm sorry. I was writing notes and wrote over the top of them. Sorry about that. We do have one patron comment. Before we begin that, I will read our public comment. By signing in and speaking before the board, you agree that no item will be discussed that would operate to prejudice the board concerning a student or personnel matter that could come before the board for disciplinary or employment considerations, or that is in conflict with other district policy or law. Please do not use any student or personnel names. You understand the board will not respond during the meeting. Failure to abide by this agreement will forfeit your right to speak before the board, and you will have 3 minutes. So with that, Ms. Janessa, if you want to come to the podium.
All right, there we go. I'm a little bit of a shorty. Good evening, esteemed board members and the remaining community members that thinned out pretty quickly. My name is Janessa Emerson. I'm here as a parent in the community and the treasurer of the Bay RE Booster Club. I want to speak about the decision to remove the Bay RE administration and staff. What's most troubling is not just the decision itself, but how it was made. Families and the community who would be directly impacted were not included in any meaningful discussions. We were not consulted, we were not given a voice in something that impacts our children's daily lives. These schools are not just buildings, and you guys know that more than anyone. These are places where, for many of us, relationships are built that last a lifetime. We saw evidence of that with the students bringing up the most important teachers in their lives. Our admin, since I can't say names, has been a constant for our families. My 4th grader has known her since kindergarten, and she stepped in and helped lead through a very charged and difficult environment this year especially. And we've seen a dramatic improvement at Bayari. This isn't one person's opinion. This is the opinion of this school. We've seen more engagement from parents. We've seen more engagement from the surrounding communities, and people that we had not heard from before came and were excited to be there, not dragged there for something negative. To remove that leadership now does not recognize that progress, it undermines it. It's difficult to see how this decision is in the best interests of students. When you remove the people who know them best, you remove that trust with them. You're not just changing staff, you are breaking a support system that has taken years to build. I want to be honest about the impact that this has already had for me. When I learned at the last board meeting that this decision had already been made, I turned in a school choice application, and my family will no longer be in Springdale next year. It's not a decision that we took lightly, but I hope it reflects the lack of trust that I felt when I listened to the meeting last month. Families want to believe that decisions are made with students at the center and with community input, and right now that belief has been shaken. I urge you to reconsider this decision and also the process behind it. Engage with families before the decisions are made. Engage with the community before the decisions are made. And recognize the people who have helped to move that school forward. Thank you for your time.
Apologize, I did not mean to skip over major comments. That brings us to our consent agenda for the evening. Do you have any questions about the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Question by Mrs. Cook and a second by Mr. Bell to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Right. Brings us to this list.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, Dr. Cleveland. The March financial statements were included in your board packets. We are just a little bit shy of where we were this same time last year on revenues. We expect that to pick up. April and May is when we start seeing an uptick in collections from taxes. I noticed today I got notification that my taxes out of my escrow had been shipped to the collector's office, so I'm sure a lot of you got the same notification. So we will see increased revenue from taxes in the next couple of months. Expenditures, we're right on track. We expect to meet our budget, and so if there are any questions on that. Need a motion or?
Make a motion to approve the financials as presented. I'll switch you a little bit.
A motion by Mr. Hutchinson, a second by Mr. Ramos to approve the March 2026 financials. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Just for transparency, I shared this with Dr. Cleveland on Friday. We did have an attempt, actually 4 attempts to get into our bank account. One was really interesting. I got a text message right before our admin team meeting Friday morning wanting to know if I had sent a check to a gentleman out in Benton, Virginia in the amount of $6,950. And I don't write checks at the school district. My signature's on it. But they were able to actually pull a legitimate check number for us other than it had 2 leading zeros, which I find really interesting in that we don't publish what our check numbers are anymore on any of our board reports. So we feel like this went through Chase Bank, which, as y'all recall, not last fall, but the previous year, we also had an issue with Chase Bank. And so we're kind of the inclination that maybe there's somebody at Chase Bank that's having, doing these types of things. But anyway, the gentleman, I found it really interesting, the gentleman that actually received the check called and said, "Why are y'all sending me a check?" So that check was turned over to the police department, I think in Benton, Virginia. But we also had 3 other attempts to where they had tried to pay, I think it was Apple Pay and 2 other accounts. The bank caught those, and so they notified us immediately. As a result of that, Ms. Hobbs and I met with the bank on Monday. We had a Zoom meeting, and they have added us to a new program. We already had Positive Pay in place for all of our checks. We are now going to be doing ACH Positive Pay, and so every day as there is an ACH that has submitted to our bank, they will notify us and we can approve those individually. So just wanted to assure you that we have some attempts, but between our department and the bank, we've been able to ensure that the district has not had any loss. So just wanted to share that as part of transparency with the board and with the public. The next item on my section is to seek approval from the board to allow Kimberly Crumby, who is a principal in our district, to be a related party transaction. She has a company called Crumby Design, she and her husband, and so one of the things that they do is the Card My Yard. They have that franchise here in Springdale. She does not have district-wide purchasing authority. However, if this is approved by the board tonight, I will have to submit it to the state for approval, simply because she is, by definition, an administrator for the district.
Make a motion to approve the related party transactions with Ms. Crumby.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Ramos and a second by Mrs. Cook to approve the related party transaction for Ms. Crumby. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. The second one that I have seeking permission to do business with the school district is Miss Sarah Bush. She is an employee. She is part of a group called Bug Band. I thought this was interesting, thought the board might like this too. It's quality enrichment services, and so they combine uniquely designed to blend music with science content. And so she is seeking approval, as she is part of that musical group, to be able to perform and receive payment for that service.
I'll make a motion to approve the related party transaction for Sarah Bush and Bug Band.
Bug Band.
Second. A motion by Mr. Hutchinson and a second by Mr. Ramos to approve the related party transaction for Ms. Sarah Bush. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Do we have anything further? Anybody? All right, meeting adjourned.